Principles are based on assumptions. Traditional ITSM becomes less effective and even counterproductive when the assumptions that underlie its principles are no longer a good match for the dynamics of the situation that we find ourselves in and the nature of the target environment that we manage. Here we see some of the key differences between Agile service management and traditional IT service management. It's beyond the scope of this course to cover these in detail, but these differences are important to understand. So if you don't know how Agile and traditional service management differ in their assumptions and characteristics, please do see the course resource that contrasts the two. Now that we've seen the assumptions that underpin the principles of Agile service management, let's have a look at those principles. They are the 7 ways of Agile service management, a lightweight approach to service management. Adhering to them helps us achieve a minimum viable bureaucracy for service management in the digital age. These concepts are covered in my course, Putting ITIL into Practice, Applying ITIL 4 Foundation Concepts. We'll recount them here briefly. Enact and enable outcomes is everyone working towards ends versus means. Enlighten and empower people is growing skills, knowledge, and mindsets. Lower barriers and increase enablers is using force field analysis to continuously improve. Improve moments of truth, that's focusing on stakeholder experiences. Root out variation and dependency, that's making managed targets more manageable. Lower transaction costs is making things more ready to hand for stakeholders. And reflecting and acting at the individual team and org level is all levels driving towards outcomes within their circles of influence. In digital enterprises, target we manage is shaped by and calls for Agile approaches. Our organization, brand, and offerings and the devices and channels used at touchpoints are digital, cloud, and mobile in nature, enhanced in smaller increments at higher velocities. Our stakeholders are increasingly digital natives, so what we say and do and decide at stakeholder touchpoints must be informed by Agile principles such as those shown here. Here we see the 7 Agile service management principles laid out in the style of the Agile Manifesto, as it helps to contrast the 7 ways with other approaches in use in organizations that are either overused or used exclusively and often don't work so well. As with the Agile Manifesto, it's not that the things on the right aren't important or useful. They are or can be. It's just that the things on the left are more important and useful. We have government regulations, laws, and other rules that we must comply with, and other constraints that we opt into. To be effective in our interactions, what we say and do and decide must be informed by these constraints. For example, let's say the stakeholder touchpoint is a design workshop for a new system. At that moment of truth, we can't simply ignore applicable regulations like the need for PCI compliance and try to bolt them on later. That's a recipe for disaster. One such constrainer is the set of laws and jurisdictions in which we operate, including tax codes, employment and labor laws, antitrust laws, truth in advertising and marketing laws, privacy laws, business license and permit laws, laws around insurance, laws around what you must report to governments, and so on. As a global organization, we also must comply with each country's labor standards, customs requirements, and intellectual property laws. What we say and do and decide at touchpoints must be informed by this. And there are many, many local, national, and international regulations which we may be required to comply with, such as SOX, HIPAA, PCI, SAS-70, GLBA, OSHA safety standards, various state regulations, for example, MAS 201, CMR 17, FISMA, HITECH, NERC, DCID, Basel II, Memo 20, NISPOM, and EU Directive 2006-24-EC, WTO regulations applicable to global organizations such as the WOT anti-dumping agreement. You get the picture, there's lots of them. Again, at touchpoints, we need to factor these things in. Ignoring them and trying to bolt on a fix later is ill-advised. There are other constrainers that are not mandatory, but that we may choose to abide by, like the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or being ISO 9001 certified as a manufacturer, or complying with the ISO 2007 series of information security standards, or doing what's required to be a Michelin-rated restaurant or a 3- or 5-star hotel chain, or complying with generally accepted accounting principles or codes of conduct or quality standards set forth by ISO. These opt-in standards, too, must also inform touchpoint interactions.